Hi designers, in this video I'll be showing you how to take images and wrap them around a form. You'll be using this technique for your shoe design, as you see in this design here, where the theme was Warner Brothers. You can also see another example here. This is an Angry Birds theme. You'll also be creating an advertisement to go behind your shoe, like this. But today we're going to start with a simple project where you wrap images around a baseball. And all these resources can be found at the MediaArt Share Drive under Hamby Resource Files, Shoe Design, and Baseball Exercise folder. You need to drag and drop the Ball and Stripes PSD to your desktop. The JPEG you see there is this example that I'm using in the video. So as you can see, I've used a baseball theme here. I've taken an image of Joe DiMaggio and wrapped it around the baseball so it looks like that image is printed on the baseball. I've also made a pattern of stars on this side and then wrapped them around so they also look like they're printed on the baseball. The last thing I did was to add a little bit more emphasis on Joe DiMaggio over here. I colored the background around him blue. So again, keeping with that American baseball theme of red, white, and blue. You might also notice that I went in and deleted each of the laces. You can see right up here at the top I did not complete that. If you get enough time today to do that, go into that much detail, but that is not required. That would be extra credit for this assignment. So you're going to start with your Ball and Stripes PSD, which when you open it up should look like this, and you can see you have a background, which is the baseball, and then you have a layer called Wrap Stripes around Ball, which is just these flat stripes. And then if you turn on this other layer called Finished Look, you can see how they're supposed to look at the end. You can see how the stripes have been wrapped around. Now, you actually have already used the technique that is used to create this look, which is the transform tool. So you hit Command T on your keyboard, and that's going to give you the selection. Make sure you're on the Wrap Stripes around Ball layer. You hit Command T, and that gives you your selection, and you know you can resize it, you can move it around. You want to make sure that the stripes are covering the baseball, and then you're going to hold Control on your keyboard and click. You're going to get this menu and you're going to choose Warp. And this gives you a set of paths that you can then wrap around the baseball. So as you're doing this, I want you to think about a globe and think about the latitude and longitude lines on a globe and how those look like they wrap around the ball of a globe. And so paying attention to these grid lines, we want to wrap this around. You can also see you have these handles here to adjust the curve. And you'll notice that a baseball is not perfectly round, but it is almost a spherical form. So if you can accurately wrap something around a sphere, you could wrap it around anything. Now, as you can see, this looks like it's wrapping around, but there's something kind of weird about it. And if you think about the longitude lines on a globe, the longitude lines connect down here at what would be the South Pole on a globe. So you want to take these lines and wrap them around. And again, this is going to take some adjusting, just some patience. Probably should have taken these points and put them back down there. But you're going to play around with that until you get something that looks realistic, like this last layer here. After you get something that looks realistic like this, I want you to add at least 3 images that have to do with that theme that you chose for your shoe design. So you can turn off the stripes layer, and then you're going to need a couple more images. So I've chosen the American flag. I saved this to my desktop from Google. I'm going to copy and paste that into my Balls and Stripes PSD on a new layer. I'm going to use that same function, Command T, to resize this, and then Command click to wrap it around the ball. Okay, so there I have it resized. Now I'm going to hold Control and click. Oh, I have to have Command T, Control and click to get warp. And then I'm just going to look at the laces here and try to match this layer with the laces to make this flag look like it's wrapping around the ball. Again, this takes patience, this takes adjusting, and just kind of stepping back and looking at it and say, does that look realistic? Does that look like the image has been printed on the ball? Because you can do all kinds of weird things with this. Okay, so that's not perfect, but I'm going to go ahead and stop there to show you the next step, which is blending this layer with the baseball layer. And your blending options are right up here on the top of your layers palette. And if you click where it says normal, you get this drop-down menu of several options. And some of you have played around with these before. And you just want to select one that makes it look like it's part of the baseball. Multiply might be a good option. An overlay or soft light might be good options too. But play around. I kind of like that. Play around and see which one makes it look realistically like it's printed on the baseball. So as you can see in my final example, I've done 3 different things. I've wrapped the image of Joe DiMaggio, I've created a background, and I've created stars. Let me show you really quickly how to create a stars pattern. You could either download one from the internet, or you could use your shape tool to create some patterns of shapes here. Merge them into one layer. So I'm going to do this very quickly. Okay, so I've got these fleur-de-lis. On my layers palette, I'm going to merge them into one layer by holding Shift on my keyboard, selecting them all, and hitting Command E. Then once they're all in one layer, Command T, Control click on the layer, choose Warp, and again I have that ability to wrap this custom-made pattern around the baseball. And once I have them wrapped to where they look realistic, I would again use my blending options on my layers palette to make them look like they're actually part of the baseball. Now as you can see, black is hard to blend, so you might want to choose an actual color. That's why on this demo I chose blue, because you could actually make it look like it is on the baseball. That texture of the baseball shows through, as well as the value that gets darker as the baseball goes away from you. So just to reiterate, practice with your stripes first. Here you can see how I used the blue stripes to wrap around first before I added Joe DiMaggio and the background. I actually took away the stripes afterwards. You can either leave the stripes or take them away. When you're done, save this as a PSD in the MediaArt share drive in your class folder under Shoe Design Baseball Exercise.